Legend of the Nian Beast. Winter wind slipped through old tiled walls into the small mountain village. As dusk fell, every window was shut tight, and straw barriers were piled at the doors. Children curled in their parents' arms, while elders frowned and looked toward the shabby hut in the east. The village grew especially silent in deep winter. On this night, the air felt frozen, and everything outside held its breath. No one dared step beyond the door. For the creature called Nian was about to awaken, rising from the deep sea to search for food. Nian was a huge, one-horned monster. It slept in the cold depths of the sea, its body dark and its horn glowing pale blue. It feared heat and the color red, and awoke only on the coldest, darkest winter night, surging toward coastal villages. Any person or animal it spotted became its food. The village kept an old tradition on the last night of the 12th month. Before sunset, the chief led everyone to pack up, take dry rations, and drive their chickens and ducks up the mountain to hide. "Hurry! The Nian Beast is coming!" At the shout, even dogs and hamsters rushed into their cages.
But this year, even after the chief called twice, the Ding family's wooden gate in the east did not move. The old, small Madame Ding, her gray hair like frost and her face lined with wrinkles, stayed inside. Worried neighbors urged her, "Grandmother, please go. When Nian wakes, it spares no one."
She only shook her head, staring at the dead leaves before her door, sorrow carved in her eyes. Everyone knew her only son had failed to escape Nian last year and vanished without a trace. "I'm not afraid," she murmured. "Let it come. This year is my time to take revenge." As the sky dimmed, the village grew even quieter. Aside from the murmuring stream and the occasional crack of the hearth fire, nothing could be heard. At that moment, an old beggar in a patched blue cotton robe, leaning on a bamboo staff, staggered into the nearly empty village entrance. He knocked on the Tang family's door and called several times beneath the Li family's window, but no one answered. Only the wind howled through the alley, echoing in the emptiness. Finally, he reached Madame Ding's hut. From the warmth seeping through the door, crack came the faint scent of hot dumplings and vegetables.
"Grandmother, may I have some food? I've been freezing all day," the old beggar said shakily. Though she should have been cautious, Madame Ding opened the door a crack. Seeing his thin frame and frost on his brows, she pitied him and gave him her last 3 dumplings and half a bowl of hot water.
The old beggar sat by the fire, thanking her. As he ate, he asked, "Why is the village empty?" Madame Ding sighed and said, "Each deep winter Nian comes to eat people and livestock." "Everyone fled to the mountains I stayed," she warned. "Leave when you finish, or you'll be in danger too." "Ha!" The old beggar suddenly laughed, a sharp cleverness flashing in his eyes. "So it's only the Nian Beast. Leave this small matter to me. Do you have red cloth or red paper? And some bamboo?" Madame Ding froze for a moment, but she still gathered all the red cloth and old red paper left in the house, and even brought several thick bamboo poles from the woodshed. The old beggar moved quickly, sorting through the items, cutting the red cloth into strips, and pasting the red paper onto the doorframe and window lattice. "Too cold, let's make some noise," he muttered, building a fire in the yard and setting several bamboo poles near the door. Night winds swept the sparks, rushing into the yard. Madame Ding watched him by the fire, blowing on the flames while striking the bamboo, making sharp crackling sounds. In the empty night, The noise was so piercing that even the cold insects dared not make a sound. Just past midnight, under a cold round moon, a distant rumble of water rose from the village entrance. From the deep sea, a dark mass heaved upward and drifted toward the shore. It was Nian awake at last. Its horn glimmered, cold pouring out as it charged toward the lone hut on the eastern side. As Nian approached, red cloth flared in the firelight, flooding the yard with crimson. Pop, pop! The old beggar tossed bamboo into the fire, exploding with sharp cracks. At the alley entrance, the beast froze. Blinded by red and deafened by noise, it howled and staggered back in fear. The fire snapped and flared, red light shooting into the night. Nian held its head, its horn glowing blue, furious yet helpless. As it tried to lunge, the old beggar threw the last bundle of bamboo into the fire. Boom! A chain of blasts erupted, shaking the whole village. Nian could bear no more. It whipped around and, following the moonlit pale riverbank, stumbled and fled back into the deep sea, not daring to look back. The night fell silent, with only drifting smoke and cold red light flickering. Madame Ding leaned against the door, her hands trembling, tears filling her eyes. The old beggar pushed the door open, smiled back at her, tapped his bamboo staff, and walked away into the red glow. Morning came, and the winter sun slanted across the path down the mountain. The village chief led the people, calling out as they inspected the village. Madame Ding, are you all right? Seeing her sitting safely in the yard, everyone froze in astonishment. Madame Ding quietly recounted what happened the previous night. When she spoke of the old beggar who seemed like an immortal, the villagers thought she had dreamed it. But seeing the red paper on the doors and the charred bamboo ash on the ground, they could not help but feel shaken. From then on, the villagers no longer feared that night. At year's end, households hung red banners, lit firecrackers, wore bright red clothes, and kept fires burning. Children chased in the yards or copied adults, pasting red paper. The village rang with popping firecrackers and laughter. The adults said this day was called New Year. The elders claimed the old beggar was an immortal who came to guide the world. Others said it was brave Madame Ding, who drove away her sorrow and welcomed new life with the whole village. As for Nian in the deep sea, it never returned to shore. Yet, whenever winter snow falls and firecrackers echo, some people look toward the distant night sky and quietly wonder, was that night of red light and hope real, or only a legend?